Hello and welcome to this edition of the Halcyon Show. My name's been Lorne Risley, and it's going to be Lorne Risley because I don't know why I'm signing off so quickly. I guess it's because of this game. I really don't want to talk about it again, but I have to give it a fair shake. Welcome to the Halcyon Show, Zombie Mutant DNA. Why am I talking about this game again? Well, again, similar to the Total Madness review, I feel like I was unnecessarily dismissive of the game without going into detail as to why I was being dismissive of the game. What I'm learning very quickly with my Let's Plays is that I don't say what I'm thinking while I'm playing the game, and I need a moment to articulate what I'm thinking while I'm playing it so I can put it down on a little bitty bit of paper and articulate it to you. So Zombie Mutant DNA, the details of the game, the price, and yet, well, no, the price I can tell you, £15. £15? Really? We'll get into why in just a second. I did touch on it in the Let's Play, but still. The game, it's lacking in overall quality and finish. Now, I need to elaborate on this. Why? The game is not the worst looking thing I've ever seen, and it's not the worst playing thing I've ever seen. It's not even the most boring game I've ever played. However, £15. £15. To put things into context, the games I tend to review are maybe between £1 and £5. For those in the UK, 89 pence up to about £5, okay? Not the most expensive bits of kit, but they do range in quality quite a bit. But nonetheless, you're not expecting a AAA style game. Not for that price point, you never should. All you should expect from that game is whether or not it's engaging, holds your attention, is it fun for its intended period? Is it a 5-minute game, a 30-minute game, an hour game, a repetitive game, an arcade game, an RPG, whatever the case may be? Is it good at what it's trying to do? And that's the only question you should be asking yourself at that price point. However, when you start getting to 15 quid, and you're looking at things on Xbox Live, and you're looking at things on the second-hand market on AAA levels, and that's the price point you're looking at, you need to be offering me something good. And this game doesn't offer anything good, okay? Just, again, coming back to the point I was making before I got sidetracked by my other point, lacking in overall quality and finish. For 15 quid, it needs to have at least a degree of polish. It needs to have something more than copy and paste assets. It needs to have something more than graphics lifted straight out of the PS1. It needs to have more in a cohesive title than 3 words thrown together to have some kind of ominous effect. Some kind of threat level beyond zombies, beyond mutants, and beyond the horrific DNA. It's just lacking a little bit in terms of an idea because it feels like something's been thrown together. Now, if this game had been priced much lower, and I'm talking £2, £3, £4 or £5 knocking on the door, and I'm being generous there, then this game probably wouldn't have even earned my ire. I might even be saying it's a reasonably okay game. It's not amazing by any stretch of the imagination, we'll get into that in a second. But 15 quid, 18 bucks, for real? No, not even close. To give you an idea, the shooting lacks any real impact. It lacks any real diversity in the weapons because the shotgun is basically the best weapon. The only other weapon that you can use that's even close is the heavy machine gun, which has just as much damage as the shotgun, but fire rate of the SMG. None of the weapons go up to their maximum level, by the way, so there's no uber weapon. Why even have the spaces? Then it just makes all of your weapons look ineffective. The enemies seem like they all Zerg rush. They don't have any diversity in the AI, apart from, so far, the spitters. I understand that you can face bosses, but again, I imagine they're just going to bully you all over the place, and it's going to be a question of nicking a few bits here and there. There's nothing tactical about the game. There's nothing new about the game, which, again, on Steam games is not anything to be shocked by. These games are developed and published by game developers who are either inexperienced or have an inability to be able to produce much on their own. They're usually 1, 2, 3, maybe even 5-man teams. There's not a lot you can get away with there in terms of depth of gameplay in certain genres. However, you cannot charge 15 quid for the privilege. That's insanity. To give you an idea, Dash, Danger Action Speed Heroes was 15 quid on release and was reduced. That game has quality, polish, even has now a degree of a story mode, but tremendous multiplayer and replayability capacities, okay? Same with Exception, great game, tons of polish, tons of character. And that's the other thing that this game sorely lacks. Zombie Mutant DNA, go crazy, man. If you're going to set yourself up with that premise of a zombie mutant DNA hybrid with aliens, because apparently aliens are in the first level for some reason, because zombies and mutants and DNA wasn't enough, there's nothing distinguishing about this game. There's nothing I could point to in this game that's specifically this game. Only the combination of it, which is a really bland and kind of lifeless game. The animations for the running and the shooting, basic as hell. The maps look limp and lifeless. There's no distinguishing factors. There's a degree of puzzle solving because you've got to go through a map and a maze and there's secrets and there's a grading on the levels. But again, all of it feels a little bit uninspired and slapdash together. Some things, like for instance, the way that the graphics sit with the fonts, there's just something unfinished and thrown together about it. I can't quite put my finger on what it is, and I might be completely wrong on that, but just to me, looking at it from the outside, it just doesn't look finished. It looks like something that's a placeholder for something better to come down the line, but that never came. Again, the shooting feels tame and repetitive in comparison to other games that I've played, where if your main goal is to shoot shit, you need to make the shooting satisfying, even if it's just mowing down things that can take 1,000,000 bullets, but the shooting is smooth and points and has a kick to it. If you want to make it more challenging and make the bullets more scarce, you need to make the guns feel like they're doing serious damage every time you do, but that missing is this critical, unbelievable mistake, and you need to learn to hone your bet. This does neither. Ammo is plentiful, but doesn't feel like it doesn't need damage. And more to the point, it lets you have all your weapons in your first 4 minutes. The first 4 weapons out of 6 in the first 2 levels, which is about 2 minutes each, which is 4 minutes. That's my point I'm trying to make. 4 weapons out of 6, first 2 levels. Gee, not good. Enemy AI is Zerg Rush. Again, I didn't play this game enough to see what the bosses look like because I have no will or want to at this price point. It's not going to hold my attention for more than a couple of minutes unless it has something amazing at the end of each level to throw at me. It does not. And again, maybe I'm being overly optimistic with a game that's called Zombie Mutant DNA, but the fact that it has that in it, just give it an anagram if you don't want to go into it. It feels like there should be a story mode attached to this. It feels like there should be a narrative. Feels like there should be some sort of explanation as to why the picture on the front of the case is basically Jean-Luc Picard Borg. I don't know. I don't know what to have to you. Again, I guess the point of my ire of this game is that the price point is so exceedingly high for what it is, even though it's not necessarily a terrible game. It's by no means an amazing game. It certainly lacks in certain areas, but 15 quid? Lower that down. Lower that down to about 3 quid, and then maybe we can talk. Because it's got content, that much it's got for it, and the levels are not terribly designed in terms of progression from one side to another. If you're just looking for a game that you can play twin-stick shooter style, fine, I can understand. Divader, Anstorm, Bad Business, Doom Tank. There's going to be others that I'm not referencing on the top of my head. These are just games that I'm playing. Google, Samurai Wish, that's another really, really good one. These are games that all offer tons of character, tons of replayability, a great art style that I can point to. If you show me a picture of each, I can say, that's that and that's that. This game, it looks too bland and generic. And for that price point, man, it's just the killer for me. I keep coming back to it. But when I read that, I was shocked and stunned because I played it first and I thought, don't know if it's worth talking about. And then you see that and you go, wow, crazy. A couple of other things to talk about just before we end. The aiming, again, not terrible. The game, not terribly optimized, has a good user interface in terms of being able to get in and out of the game easily enough and tweak everything. The menu screen looks okay. The soundtrack is non-existent. And I think that's about it. I wish I could say more positive things about the game. I didn't have an amazingly good time playing it. I can't imagine anyone is unless you're a massive fan of the combination of those. If you're a zombie fanatic, a mutant fanatic, and someone who really digs their biochemistry, then this game is for you, I guess. But for everybody else, there's tons of other games on the market that offer you tremendous value compared to this game. Even on their own merits, they're probably better without taking the price point into consideration. And normally I wouldn't. Normally I would just say this is kind of a meh game. It's okay. It doesn't fall down. It doesn't glitch. It seems reasonably solid. But no, que nada, no bueno. It just can't be done. So, Zombie Mutant DNA. Have you played it? If not, have you played something similar? If not to either one of those things, what do you think about a £15 price point or an $18 price point for a game? What do you think you should be getting for that value? money-wise for a game like that. So leave me your thoughts in the description below. In the meantime though, thank you very much for watching this edition of the Halcyon Show. Please like, share and subscribe, and check out some of the other content creators in the description below. I can assure you they offer you value for money because their content is free from what I understand. Go check me out over on Twitter as well. I'm usually tweeting something offensive over there. Go check me out on Twitch. I'm going to try and Twitch over there, I guess, or whatever the term is. And I sincerely hope you're taking care of yourselves during this trying period for us all. My name's been Lorne Risley. This has been the Halcyon Show, and I'll see you on the next episode.